Hey fans, it's been a little while since I've recorded anything major um, in Train Simulator 2021, but I figured tonight would be a good night to test out a couple of things and just talk you through sort of what I've been doing in terms of my modding projects and things like that. So why don't we get started? Let's load this up. My primary reason for recording this video is to test out the new headset I recently purchased to go with the new MSI GE66 gaming PC that I bought a couple months ago. There we go. Reason for this purchase is mainly because the one time I tested out the built-in microphone on the computer, the quality didn't turn out that good. Just the sound quality was from the microphone was very poorly balanced. You couldn't really hear what I was saying. So I went ahead and bought this new headset with the microphone attachment so that I could start recording videos with audio again. So what we're gonna do tonight is I haven't actually done any of these career scenarios for a lot of these lines, so I figured what we could do is we could start looking through some of these. Some of you might have noticed that recently I've not really been putting out too many mod packs for this game. Part of it is due to the fact that development for this game has slowed down a lot. You don't really see too much content coming out for Railworks anymore. Um, and it would, that's kind of just a shame. Um, because I've said this before and I'll say it again, I do prefer this game over Train Sim World, uh, any day of the week. I just don't, I don't know, I just never was able to get on board with the new game. They just promised all this stuff, and they still have yet to deliver on a lot of it. And that game has a lot of the same issues that plague this game. So, I don't know how much has to do with the development process on the part of Dovetail, but you still have sound issues, you still have physics issues, you still have all the other bugs and glitches that you would experience in this game, and you're the only thing you're really getting for that game is that you get to walk around the world and sort of, I I don't see the appeal in that. I just want to hop in the cab and operate the train. So this game to me just provides a lot more utility. It has a lot more routes, a lot more content. The routes are longer, and I think the number one thing for me is that the content itself is a lot more user friendly. It's a lot more developer slash editor friendly. Like you can actually go into the file structure and change things uh, more readily than you could stuff in Train Sim World. I know it's possible to do it, but I just never got around to really figuring out a good way to go about it easily. So, you know, unless something really nice comes out for that game, I don't really see myself dabbling around in it too much. So, onto this little error screen here. Uh, if you've been following my stuff, you should know already that if you have a modification of any sort installed on the equipment that you're loading for a career scenario, it's going to pop up with this error. All you have to do is hit the F2 key, or I guess not. I don't know if it lets you anymore. I actually haven't done this in a while. Let's try this. You used to be able to hit F2, it would bring up the save menu, and you would save, and then it would just run the scenario. But I don't know that. I know they've done a lot of core updates to this recently, so it might not work anymore. I'm not sure. Oh, maybe it doesn't work. That's kind of annoying. Let's see. Alright, if this doesn't work, then that's fine. We'll just run a quick drive. It doesn't matter to me. Anyways, as I was rambling on earlier, the reason I haven't been doing too much in terms of modding work is I guess you could say it was demonstrated by that glitch we had earlier, just a few minutes ago. Just DTG's been making a lot of core updates to this game, and it's changed a lot of just the way that the game interacts with edits that you make to the content, and it's become. I've been having a lot of issues with it because a lot of the mods that used to work just fine for me, they don't work anymore, and I have to go into Steam and do a file verification, and that uninstalls everything, and you have to reinstall everything. It just turns into a huge pain, if you know what I mean. Let's see, let's cut that out until we get to the next signal. But yeah, so a lot of these mods, they take hours to do, depending on what exactly is being changed. And just, in my opinion, it's just not worth that kind of effort. If I'm gonna spend, let's say, an hour and a half fixing the physics performance, and then another 3 or 4 hours writing sound code and sourcing sound files, only to go into the game, and then a week later, the piece of rolling stock that I quote-unquote fixed doesn't work anymore. You know, it's a lot of time and investment on my end that doesn't seem to really pay off. Which is honestly, you know, I think it's a shame because I genuinely do enjoy doing this. I do enjoy looking for ways to improve the content for the end user, like, you know, yourself, or myself too. But it's just, at the end of the day, I don't want to be spending the better half of a day working on something like this only for it to break a week later. It just doesn't make sense for me to use my time in that manner. It doesn't mean that I'm no longer ever going to do mod work for this game again, but it's definitely, sort of limits what I'm willing to do with this, so to speak. And if you've been keeping track of what other modders have been doing recently, it's really like there are a lot of up and coming people working on content where it's like they do a really good job, and I gotta hand it to them. And they got more time than I do to do this stuff, So more power to them. I don't want to be stepping in on their work when ultimately the stuff that they can come out with would arguably be better than anything I could do at the moment, because they just have more time and resources to invest into their work than I do. And who knows, maybe sometime down the road instead of me doing all the mod work, I might be more than happy to feature their mod work and make videos about the changes they've made or the improvements they've made, and I'm all for that. I'm kind of hoping that the sound quality comes out pretty good. This is actually the first quote-unquote gaming headset that I've purchased. It's I forget exactly which model it is, but it's from Logitech. It's supposed to work with computers or consoles like Xbox and things like that. But it's interesting. I have the microphone switched on, obviously, and I can hear myself talking back through the headset, so it's a good indication of the fact that it's probably working. Yeah, so I kind of figured if I'm not going to be doing really that much more modding work on my end, if I'm going to record stuff like this, I might as well just record quick drives and things of that nature. So, in the comment section, just definitely give me a shout out and let me know what you guys want to see on the channel. And I do work a full-time job, which is why I don't really upload that much anymore of my own stuff. When I am off and the weather's nice, I do go out and I do film and things like that. So I do still post stuff from the New York metro area. It's not as often as I used to. Yeah, definitely let me know in the comment section what you guys want to see me do in this game. some of you might be some of you might be wondering why I'm not really running this train, I guess for lack of a better term, balls to the wall. I'm not really going over 50% throttle, and I'm not really taking that hard of a brake if I can help it. The reason for this is because when I did the mod pack for this train, I programmed the physics to the factory specifications for the cars that is in the operating manual. Namely, that's 2 mph per second acceleration and 3 mph per second braking at a full surface rate. In real life, these trains are software limited so that they actually don't accelerate as fast as they would have fresh out of the factory. That's for a number of reasons. Mainly because of the excessive power draw from the third rail. To operate these trains at factory settings, you would actually draw a lot more power from the third rail than the substation system is capable of supplying on Metro North. There was a study done about this, and it's actually the results of that study are actually available online. You can go to Google it, where it shows that through software tweaks, Metro North has actually quote unquote dumbed down the performance of their MU fleet so as not to overtax the system substations. I could always go back into the mod itself and redo the tractive effort curve so that I could properly model the updated performance curves based on what Metro North has changed on the cars. It's been something that I've been thinking about doing. I haven't ruled out actually doing it yet, but it would involve me going back in and really looking at the values that I used for the original and then benchmarking it to what I've observed riding the trains. A change like that is actually relatively easy to do from my perspective. It probably would only take me about half an hour to really modify the curve to make it perform the way I want it to perform. I just don't, I'm just not sure if I have the time or the motivation to do it. But if that's something that you would like to see as part of an update, I can always push that out sometime when I have some time off. But yeah, so definitely let me know in the comments if that's an update to this mod that you would like to see. I mean, honestly, there's only so much I can do to further improve the realism of this train that's not I guess without trying to learn how to Lua script, because there's a lot of there's a lot of different eccentricities to this train that you really wouldn't be able to recreate without actually going in and changing the script itself, which is not something that I currently am able to do. It always bothered me that this curve right here is not super elevated, but there's also not like a speed restriction on it. It's definitely not a curve that's good for 60. So I know I've griped about this before, but I'm going to gripe about it again. I'm going to keep griping about it. But another thing that really frustrates me with this game is just the signal work and the way the cab signaling is laid out and all this other stuff across a number of different routes. I've said time and time again, coming into Grand Central this way, this signal that we're passing right now, I should be getting a limited aspect on this. So we should be slowing down to 45 here. And at the next signal, it should drop to a medium aspect, and then where the limit drops to 15, you should be getting restricting on the cab signal. And that 15 limit really should be a 10, because it's 10 miles an hour in the yard at Grand Central. But yes, that is one of the many things that frustrates me to no end about this game. And by extension, the people who developed this game. It's really not that difficult. It really is not that difficult. I know that there's information out there. It's might as well be public at this point. But there's plenty of resources that are accessible to accurately recreate the operating conditions on basically any railroad that you would want to simulate. There are plenty of resources to properly model sounds for this simulator. There are plenty of people who are really good at doing that. And, you know, I dare say that I myself am capable of doing certain sound work. You know, some people might be better than I am, and there's nothing wrong with that, but the fact is, if I can make this train sound the way it's supposed to sound aftermarket, there's no reason that it shouldn't sound that way coming out of the box, so to speak. You know, there shouldn't be a need for people like me to have to go into the file structure after something's been officially released for sale for public consumption for money to be going in afterwards and quote-unquote fixing stuff. There's really no good reason for that. If you're going to be charging people money for a product, it should be a quality product. You should have put in a level of effort and come out with a finished result that you can say that you're proud of. There shouldn't be any reason that someone can go in and make it 100 times better after you've already released it and you are charging people money for it. You know, it's this stuff that really just grinds my gears that that I'm even having this conversation about this issue. And I think that's something that falls on, I guess, deaf ears a lot in this sort of niche community, because let's face it, most people who play this game don't know what they're doing. They just think it's cool to drive a train. You know, to be able to drive a train. They don't care what it sounds like. They don't care if it runs correctly. They don't care if some people might not even care if it looks right. And that's I would almost say that that is probably the majority of people playing this game, which kind of it sucks because then you got people like me who really enjoy the hobby of railroading and enjoy being immersed in this sort of world and who notice details like this. I notice the way the train sounds, the way the motors sound, the way the inverters change pitch as the speed increases, or the way that trains the way that trains perform, their acceleration, their deceleration, what their tractive effort curves are, what they're capable of doing in real life. And then I come into this game and I play this game and nothing feels real to me, and then I have to go in and change everything so that it feels more real. I know I'm not, I know there's other people that are like me that, that want that actual sort of real experience. And I wish that was more of a majority of people, because then if that was actually like a majority of people, then we could actually really sort of push for more competent work coming out of these development companies. But that's enough of me on my soapbox complaining about this stuff. I hope you guys enjoyed the ride. Never mind my constant complaining about this game. I also hope this microphone worked out. Didn't spend a decent amount of money on this for it not to work. But if it does work out, then definitely let me know what you guys want to see in terms of stuff in this game. Let me know what you want to see me operate, what you want to see me do. And yeah, definitely I'm always available to chat with in the comments if you got questions, concerns about anything. Just the only thing that I will say is that if you're gonna ask me to do a mod or something, chances are, unless it's something that I'm personally invested in or that I'm personally interested in, I'm probably not gonna get to it. It's just a matter of what I explained earlier. It's just not, at this point, it's not really worth my time to be spending on all this coding work if this stuff is going to break in a week. So, but yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and as always, I'll see you next time.